Monday! Hey, on the Twitch stream here with AppSpy and Pocket Gamer and me, James, and down there is Peter.
Oh, hi
guys. Sorry we're a little bit late. Some minor technical issues in the form of one of the apps that I was going to play today and show you all doesn't work on my iPad or anything I've got, any device I own. Which I'm gonna say 3 out of 10 for that app.
Yeah,
on the
3 out of
basis
10.
that it's currently just a black screen.
Not as good as it could be.
No.
Could do with more graphics.
Needs refinement. So what I'm going to try and do in the background, whilst we wait for people to join in and drop in to explore today's little genre busters, is I'm going to slyly download something in the background without you noticing, which would have been what had happened had I not just told you. So now, not so much, you know.
Oh, right. Well, you've pulled back the curtain. That's the
Too
problem.
far, and now everyone can see my particulars.
Yeah.
How is everybody? Everyone have a good weekend?
Is everyone all right?
Yeah.
How is it? Oh, did you have a good weekend, James?
What did I do? Yes, I did. I did have a good weekend. It was
Okay.
quite nice. I got to do fun things.
Okay.
Fun things don't necessarily always happen to me, but no, fun things was good.
Okay.
I got to go out and do some mealy stuff. I got to do some things with my partner, which was highly entertaining. Not those kind of things.
Oh.
Don't you dare!
I think I know what he means, ladies and gents.
Yeah.
Playing Rayman Raving Rabbids.
You
right?
got it. And then a bit of fingal
cheeky.
afterwards. Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice. Which was nice. And I'm just generally gearing up for my birthday because I'm quite excited now about it. Because boys and girls, the most exciting thing happened to me this afternoon. I ordered a PS4.
Oh, that is quite exciting.
I am properly delighted because I'm basically the last one in my esteemed peer group to actually get hold of one of these bloody things. Because Ari's got one, and you've got one, Peter, and Mark's got one from Pocket Gamer Mark Brown to person. But everyone's had one except me for ages, and I've been desperately trying to be sensible and rationalise it in me head.
What game are you gonna? What games are you going to play on it? Are you going to play all the latest amazing free-to-play games on there, like War Thunder and Warframe and other games that begin with War?
Well, as you know, that's the only reason I would get a next-gen or console, obviously, is to play the raft of astoundingly good free-to-play games.
I played Warframe on there for like 10 minutes. I got motion sickness because of
Really?
all of the blur. Like, it's got this... You should download it and give it a go. Everybody should download it and give it a go. There's this really odd blurring effect on it, whereby if you move, even just like to pick up a can of Coke or whatever it is, your hand is like blurs, like it's moving at the speed of light. It's incredible.
What kind of game is it? Is it some kind of... What is it?
It's a free-to-play arena shooter with missions.
Okay.
It's not very good. It's not very good. Now, here's the thing, James.
Yep.
People are talking already about my amazing haircut.
Are they really?
Yeah, I mean, Alex Scholes said no fringe. Girlfriend's parents were there, weren't they? No, that's not true. Top Drop says nice haircut, thank you.
Is that what it was? You have to prep for the girlfriend's parents, make yourself look respectable.
It's nothing to do with that. Do you want to know the real reason?
Because there were all of the women that were throwing themselves at you, it got to be a bit of a trouble turning them all away. So you went, all right then, I'll dial it back a bit.
Bingo.
Knew it. Well, why, did you just fancy to change, did you?
No, I'm too lazy to have got my hair cut, so I'm going to go tonight.
Oh, right. Oh, okay, I thought that was it. This is you without product then, is it?
This is me, sans product.
Wow.
It's actually very nice hair.
Oh, natural.
It is quite nice. Obviously, if people watch this, because people watch this on Twitch, and then some people watch it on YouTube as well as like a fun little thing to watch in the background and stuff.
True, they do.
I'll cut this whole thing out because it's just hair talk. But it is super silky smooth and lovely.
Well, all the hair looks nice to me, obviously. So I can just look on and go, yeah, very nice. Well done. Well done.
The grass is always greener.
Growing all those hairs out of your head. Well done.
Yeah.
Suppose you think that's clever, do you?
That's pretty tough.
Yep.
So we're going to play probably the most specific genre of game.
I know, right?
For genre busters ever.
We said at the beginning when we were going to try and do these genre buster things, so we pick a particular genre and then we play a few games from that genre and we see, what ones are the best, what are the worst, and we throw it open to a vote sometimes as well. But we thought rather than doing like best fighter or best shooter or whatever, it's like in order to keep it going, in order to keep it fresh, we need to pick subgenres rather than genres. So it needs to be the kind of best futuristic racer. There has to be a few qualifiers in there. So instead of the best music game, we're playing the best music games actually made by bands or directly featuring bands.
Yeah.
So this isn't just Dance Revolution or Guitar Hero or something like that. This is actual games that are actually made by or in association with a particular musical group or band. And there are more than you'd think surprisingly, because one came out this week, or came out last week rather, which made me think, all right, then I'll have a look at this. And you've already got another hands-on with it, haven't you, Peter? I think.
Think so.
And I
yes,
think I know
to the Deathbat.
Yeah, and I think I know your opinion on it, which we'll discuss in a bit. And so I thought, all right, then I wonder how many there are, because a couple leapt into my mind, and then I went looking through, and actually there are a few.
There are too many.
So we were going to look at 4. It might actually turn out that we're looking at 3, because it genuinely won't work. The one I was trying to boot up, I keep booting it up, and I can download it fine, and it says it works on iPad fine, and I'm just getting instant black screen.
Brilliant.
Flash out death, which is totally not what I'm looking for, which is a bit of a shame. So we might spend more time and just look at 3 of them specifically. Alex Goal's already throwing potential games into the chat room there. He's throwing band names out. He might be right a bit as well.
Yeah, might be some in there.
Yeah, so we'll have to have a look at that. But yeah, there might be just 3 of them today. But we'll spend a little bit longer with each one, which is fine for us. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing something a bit special as well, which we should probably pimp a little bit in advance. Do you think? Is that a good idea?
Yeah. Let's see if it all comes together, shall we?
All right. We'll hold it back.
If you like Warhammer, and you like free things,
yes,
and you like iOS games,
I fulfill all of these categories, Peter Wellington.
And you like the company HeroCraft, then maybe come back tomorrow, because we might give you a bunch of free stuff on this stream and do some fun things with it.
Oh, that sounds exciting. Yeah, so
I'm being vague.
Very vague there. Well done. We'll have to, as you say, we'll wait and see and confirm it later. But if you're watching, then tomorrow's episode might be particularly interesting if you like all them things what Peter just listed. Plus, of course, we'll come back to you with Eye on the App Store on Wednesday. We'll be here this Wednesday. We're not off to any awards ceremonies or anything like that this time.
No, not this week.
Nope. So we'll actually show you all the new games that are going to be coming out this week, and we show them to you 24 hours in advance. Oh. This is what we do every week, every Wednesday. Eye on the App Store. If you haven't already followed, for God's sake, do so, because you're missing out.
Yeah, come on.
If you've got an iOS device, then you'd be mental not to have a look first.
If you don't have one, come on.
Follow anyway. Have a look.
Just follow anyway.
Look how the other side lives.
You'll get one eventually.
Check out the 1%ers. And Thursday will be podcast action as per usual. On Friday we will continue on in our increasingly interesting Monster Hunter Freedom Unite for iOS sessions, because now we're getting to the point where we can actually kill some monsters.
Yeah, that was a sort of downside of the previous 15 hours, wasn't it, really?
It was awesome. Well, we didn't realise, because we just came in, and it's our first sort of long playthrough series on Twitch, and we're like, we'll do Monster Hunter because it's got loads of hours in it, and it's got lots of playability, and people can keep coming back to it week after week after week. And yeah, it takes a little while in Monster Hunter. You have to do a bit of grinding at first before you can become really effective at taking out anything bigger than a small, like, velociraptor type creature. And especially if you're the battle class that I am, the up close personal blade master, which isn't particularly heavy duty weapon. So it's taken me about 13 episodes to get the ability to hack through a giant crab. So it's been kind of hard going and probably slightly dull viewing in places. But we're now getting to the point where we're all storming up to beasties, or 3 of us, or maybe 4 of us, and we're going in there and we're bloody kicking their asses. And it's kind of awesome. Exactly. And we're felling our way through most of the bad creatures. So I'm well excited. About that. So that'll be Friday.
This is going to be exciting. It's going to be an exciting week, and we're going to kick off.
We are. Right, I don't know which one to start with now, though, because there's going to be 3 we're going to do. There was going to be 4, but I'm afraid technical issues have whittled it down to 3. It exists, it's here. I'll show it to you and I'll prove it to you that it doesn't work. I've even restarted the app and everything. But let's start with... Oh, screw it, let's start with this week's one, maybe. Yeah, screw it, let's do this week's one.
Yeah, let's go from bad to potentially not quite as bad.
Oh, spoilers. Okay, so... the first game that we're going to be playing this week is Hail to the King, even though I've written Hail to the Kind on the little icon at the very bottom there. Hail to the King, Deathbat. And as Alex Goal in the chat room correctly guessed, this is produced, as you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, the Avenged Sevenfold Partnership. That's who made this game. Now, I've not played this yet, Peter, and you have. So
I have.
This is going to be a bit of a hands-on thing for everyone who hasn't played it yet. This is a new game that only just came out. Am I right in thinking?
Yeah, it's only been out a little while.
Yeah, it's relatively new. So, little intro action here. In a lost world, forgotten by time, a wager was made between 3 gods, forging a war of good and evil. This is a game about a band. This is like Greek mythology or something. 2 of the elder gods believed that under the grip of darkness, good would always be something. While the third, Cerberus, believed in the triumph of all things evil. Is he the bass player then? Bass players are traditionally evil.
No, don't worry. They come in later in a really great way.
Okay, to settle the wager, a war was fought and then cast upon a new world of creatures of all brands, both holy and unholy. Of all brands, Nike, Reebok, all the brands. Yeah. The elder gods sent down the sacred talisman, and the keeper of the talisman would have the ultimate power. I feel like I'm going to be doing this a lot over the course of the next hour, throwing up the devil horns. Ultimate power. Both sides struggled for control, and then someone played a guitar solo, right? Right? Bill and Ted stepped in at the end of Bogus Journey and played God gave rock and roll to you. That's what. If that doesn't happen in this game, I'm gonna be.
It doesn't.
Refund. Instant refund.
Sorry, I spoiled it for you, everybody.
Oh bollocks! I'm not playing now. Right, the boy was born of war with blood and bones of courage and a heart of righteousness.
Yep. You sure was.
Writing. Okay, Andronicus was his name. The boy became a man. The man became a slightly badly drawn image. He rose the leader of the human race to bring a When does someone play a guitar riff? I call shenanigans on this. Alright, at his side, the Reverend Tholomew Plague stood as his trusted comrade, and together they slowly pushed back the swarms of evil. Those are the good guys. They don't look like good guys. They look as...
No, they don't look like good guys, did they?
They look as emo as the bad guys. On Moros Island, that bloke led his battles and countless lives were lost, but the virtuous warrior triumphed, taking good grief exposition. Whew. People chosen... Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, tap. I lost patience. That's it.
Immediately don't care.
Life imitating Metalopocalypse. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, basically the visuals look like the front cover of an Iron Maiden album. There you go.
Yeah, it's well heavy metal, isn't it? Like, have you seen Heavy Metal, the cartoon that they did in the 1980s, which was all like kind of like bare-breasted women riding the back of massive pterodactyls and fighting.
No, but I'm immediately bookmarking that in my head so that I go looking for it later.
I did go back and watch it. It's actually pretty bad. It's got some kind of fun sections in it, but it's because
it sounds amazing.
Yeah, I know it does sound slightly better than it is. Unfortunately, the elder gods given my bones new life in the hopes that you will be able to strike down the evil that plagues this land. Who am I to ask bloody about? Now, it's fair enough that a kind of metal band was always going to have this kind of, slightly hellish death metal type visuals. That's to be expected. If you're going to be Avenged Sevenfold, then expect that kind of rock. Yeah. Alright, okay, so I'm playing now. This guy, this Andronicus character who I'm playing as, let me just take a swipe at some... Oh! Oh! What? This is,
Now, here's the thing. Here's a trade secret that a load of games critics and people probably won't tell you. Within the first, I would say, 20 seconds of playing a video game, I can tell pretty much whether or not I'm going to enjoy it. And this one immediately left me thinking, nah, I don't think I will.
Wow. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, this is ugly.
Yeah,
this is really.
As Alex Gull points out, quality textures. They really are. They're very resourceful, aren't they?
What do you do? How do you get through this? What's going on? Do I have to just keep firing at the green? I've come up against these little green barriers, and I'm going up to the little.
So you just need to cast something. You need to cast the magic.
I am casting the magic. Do I just cast it a billion times at his face?
Can you hold the thing?
Oh, okay. Is that what I do?
And then let go.
Oh, all right, then I'll do that.
Has it done that?
Here we go. Woo! Oh, I did it, and again, nothing happened. Oh no, it's a tutorial. That's probably why I thought I was trying to get past stuff. Not be a tutorial. Okay, nice. The demon just went, nice. What? That will be your most powerful attack. Don't do it too often, though. It'll drain your magic quickly. Well, seeing that you've acquired the basic skills, can a lonely old witch ask... It was a witch! Imagine rocking up to the Wicked Witch of the West, and she's like, nice! Totes nice, good to see you all. Right. Can a lonely old witch do? Hoping to clear out some pests and made their way into my crypt. Alright. There we go. It's uncovered the area, and now it's going to turn into, like, a shit Diablo? Is that what's about to happen?
Not even a shit Diablo. More sort of like a shit... oh, God. Like, do you remember Heroes of Might and Magic in the Warriors of Might and Magic on the PS2?
I do not.
Right. Well, that was a slightly like it's like the crap combat from Soul Reaver minus any interesting. Like, so yeah, it's basically going like Diablo has got like nuance to it.
Yeah.
Whereas the combat in this, which you'll find out pretty soon, is basically run up to something, hit it, and hopefully they die before you do.
Well, at the moment, I've got two controls, which is a sword-based attack, weapon-based attack, and a magical attack thing. If I assume I just stand near this, and this little pot of blue plasma, and I get my magic back. That's fine.
Yeah,
I'm going back downstairs to meet the old witch. I can't run. I just use the same control, and it's really ugly. Not too nasty, and the graphics aren't everything, but it ain't pretty.
It's really not. I described it in my hands-on as looking like a very early PS2 generation kind of a game. Like to the point, and that's not me being like super horrible. It just it is, but it just means that like there's very few like lighting effects and effects textures are used over and over and over again, and then there are these animations which I'm gonna have to get up and show you. Hold on a second. He stands like this. Can you see him? You can see me, can't you?
I can see your
he stands
groin.
like this.
Good enough.
Yeah, you see. Look at my groin, right? So, like, he stands when he's talking to people and just does this.
Does he? He's got an idle animation that is like cucaracha.
And it's like it's got no thought in it whatsoever. Like it just looks like an old school video game.
Look,
and
this is the overworld. The overworld is a place called Morose Island or Morris Island, and I guess it's supposed to be a skull, right? But he's got a smiley face.
Yeah, he's got a little smiley face. Feels dumb, right?
That's not metal. There's nothing metal about that. He's supposed to be frowning and blood dripping out of his face. That's metal.
I only smile when I smile out lava. Like.
That's weird. All right.
You are more metal than me.
So I'm on the island now. I'm looking at all these different places that are on the island, and I can't, like, I'm trying to tap on them. Do I go to one of these places?
Right. So it's actually the island right at the top, above, on the forehead.
Oh,
of the
there we go.
face.
I hit that first. It did do anything. Right. Enter.
Yeah.
Your tragic fate is looking so clear. So I'm 10 minutes into the game. Where's the music?
So the music is in the actual levels themselves.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're about to have some music, right?
But you might have noticed for a game that's, kind of, you might think bands, it's about audio. They just reuse the same sound clip over and over and over again. The witch has one laugh.
Oh.
And she laughs like basically at the start of every like important bit of wording. So she'll go, right. And then like you'll go through a load of boring stuff.
Look at that lava.
It's good, isn't it?
Look at the lava! Oh,
look how good that is.
I feel like a jerk, like I'm trolling the game by just going, oh, it looks old. But
no,
that's poor.
So,
that's really poor.
So when I did the hands-on video, I got a load of Avenged Sevenfold fans get in touch, and they were just like, they were really reasonable, as you'd imagine, internet commenters who like that kind of music are.
Okay.
And they were saying, well, they made this game specifically to look old school and to appeal to like old school hardcore gamers. And I think I think there is something interesting about trying to pursue a look that is late PS1, early PS2 generation. I think that's quite an admirable effort.
Well, because certainly things like pixel art stuff. Pixel art is just very much the rage at the moment, of course, and everyone does their very best to emulate games that are from 10, even 20 years ago.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
We're going to reach a point at some point where people might start going like, "Hey, let's make it look like a PS1 or an N64 or something like that."
Absolutely, and I think that's totally something to go for. And you could maybe say, "All right, well, fair enough. Like, however many people are involved in this, and that's what they're going for. That's the look that they want. That's fine. I'm totally cool with that.
But are they though?
But the question is, are they? And also, I would say, first of all, you're paying for this. Like, this is a paid game, $2.99, $4.99. There are in-app purchases. So in the actual hallway, I think you might have missed them. There are people in the coffins.
Oh,
there are people in coffins that surround.
I'm just matching myself up to the idle animation.
Okay,
it's
go on.
doing it at the moment. There we go.
Go on.
Oh, Peter, get up and idle.
Hold on. Yeah.
We're all going to stop and listen to what this guy has to say. Now this is gameplay right here.
This is gameplay.
Keep your eyes open, my friend. Right, we're on. We're off.
Whoa.
Here we go. I feel better now.
Woof.
That was amazing.
So, I mean, you know, and you might have you'll notice when you talk to the next person, he's got a massive hand. Doesn't explain why. It's just a massive hand that looks completely out of place.
Okay.
Like he's got one hand that looks normal, one hand that looks like one of those big foam fingers that you see at like baseball stadiums.
Okay.
You know, like I say, if you want to go for that, that's fine. But the difference between old games and modern games is that modern games generally, I would say, are kind of like control a bit better. Like your average video game these days controls way better than your average video game in the olden days.
In the olden days, that's very true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh crap.
And this one, it just like the combat just feels so stale.
It's
and
really sticky. Like you go and attack the person, and the moment you get like hit by an animation and you can't move anymore, and it's nasty. Oh, I can't get past it. Can I blast it with some magic maybe? I can a bit. Yeah, I can. I can use my magics. Amazing. All right then. Boom.
I've literally forgotten this level completely. There's an end. I will say this: there is an end of level boss. Okay. I mean, like for example, like all of the traps and stuff that you're going past, that you're trying to get past. It just looks awful. Like they've gotten. It doesn't feel like there's any reason for them to be there. There's no. Why would they be there?
It's some very sub-crystal maze bollocks.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it?
Not impressed. So continuing the music theme, you see he drops the mic. That's what a JJMCM is going to do, and I think I can understand that. This is really nasty. And it does feel like from another era, not in a fun nostalgic way, but in a like. I don't know. Sorry, I don't buy it. I was going to say like, oh, maybe they're doing the old school trying to make it look old. No, they're not. It's just balls,
it's just crap. So the other thing, like I was going to say, is so where the band get involved. Apparently, they provided the soundtrack, which you can hear in the background.
Very quietly. It doesn't sound like very Avenged Sevenfold to me.
It's not. I mean, it's epic and epic, rocky, slightly metal edge. You know, it sounds fine. I've gone back and listened to a bit of Avenged Sevenfold now, and it doesn't. I don't think it really sounds much like them. But that's fine. You might just want to hear the band take on a different spin. Here's the thing, though. If you want to, you can. Where you met the witch, there are walls with coffins that line it. Okay. And if you go up to those coffins, a member of the band will pop out.
Oh, will he now?
And they'll say, "Hello, my name's Rusty McGuffin," or whatever his name is. And I'm from the band Avenged Sevenfold. Would you like to buy me?
Oh, really? You can buy them as in-app purchases?
Oh, yeah. So you can buy different members of the band. So you've already paid £2.99 or $4.99, depending on where you live. And then the game goes, oh, do you want to spend another couple of quid, another couple of dollars on like playing as your favourite band member?
You know what, Rusty? I'm all right. I'm pretty good. Don't need any more of this necessarily. Yeah, difficult to find good stuff to say about this. It looks bad. It feels horrible.
Music's fine.
Music's fine. Yeah, that's about as good as it's going to get. Like,
music's totally fine. And I'm sure it'll be available on YouTube at some point illegally, so don't bother spending money on this one, I would say.
No, that's baffling. Like, I mean, there aren't... I wouldn't necessarily say that this kind of isometric game is the best thing for iOS, to be honest with you. There has been a few. We've reviewed plenty of them in our time. I'm trying to think of good ones that appeared recently, and there was a very fancy one that used the Unity engine that looked really nice, but was a terribly samey that we played recently.
Dungeon Hunter from
Gameloft's not
Diablo.
Not Diablo game.
Like,
is that them?
That's fine. Like, it's a fine game. There are a couple of games like that are totally okay. But I'm with you. Like, iOS hasn't had too many of them that feel particularly great. Yeah. But I mean, saying that, there was what was that really cool one where the price goes up every single time there's an update?
Oh, you mean from the guys who did Punch Quest? That would be
Rocket Cat Games, who made
you son of a Wayward Souls.
Wayward Souls.
That was great.
Wayward Souls is great, and
that's
it's
not
the same sort of idea.
That's top down technically.
And I would say Wayward Souls is way more metal than this.
Yes, I would completely agree. Yeah, if you want to play a game that's actually good like this, that is a roaming around dungeon crawler that has a kind of, I would say, is heavy metal both in its ethos, because it's dark and it's brooding and it's tough and it's unrelenting.
It's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's a good call. So I would be inclined to agree. Play Wayward Souls.
Don't play Wayward Souls.
It's really good. Like, honestly, guys,
are good as well.
It's really good.
They're not making excuses.
Punch Quest is amazing, and it looks cracking, and that's a sort of 16-bit look, and it does it brilliantly. It's proper gorgeous. That's the ultimate like diss, isn't it? Sitting here playing a game and talking about how someone else's game is good. Sorry, didn't mean to do this. We're usually very positive on the stream, regular viewers will know, but this is a genre that has previously been unexplored for me, so I thought I'd take a look, and I had a feeling that it might not necessarily yield the best gameplay in the world. But I was curious. You got to try these things out, haven't you? Got to know.
Yep.
So I might leave this one where it is, because Blair.
Because it's rubbish. Go on.
It's a bit Blair. Alright, and so, but if you want to enjoy the Blair, it just came out very recently. Hail to the King, it's called. Deathbat. Ignore the bad spelling in the lower corner. £2.99, $4.99. Roddy says, worst animation ever. Top Chop says, what about Battle Heart? That's a good point. Battle Heart is very good. More of an RPG, though, I would say. Argue than straight up isometric. Oh, I've just encountered a boss!
Yeah,
hang on. Let's pause for a moment while I don't beat the boss. While I run around. Look at the boss! Like gliding across the floor. As if he's on ice. Look at this nonsense.
Roddy was like, oh, worst animation ever. You spoke too soon.
Yeah, wow, check him out. Look at this boss.
Look at that.
That's
now,
how
do you think you defeat that boss?
Well, at the moment, I'm just running around in bloody circles. But do I get him to run into something because he's a big boss? Or do I just keep hitting him until he dies?
You just thwack it. You just keep hitting it until you die.
Okay.
And then, if you haven't got enough health, haha.
Right, this is just me. I'm taking 2 swipes and running away. What's he called? Big what? Big Mama.
Big Mama.
Oh, so it's a she then. Right, I'm gonna blat it with my spells. I'm defeating this before I go. Well, provided I can get that far.
Oh, he got this far and just went.
Doesn't take loads of hit. He does take quite a lot of hits. Although he still hasn't got an attack off yet, because he clearly needs to be within a certain radius. Hey, he got me! Excellent. About time.
Good stuff.
God, this is tedious.
Yep.
So, Wayward Souls. It's a really good game, Peter.
Yeah, Wayward Souls.
There's a great big boss at the very beginning of Wayward Souls. He turns up. He's really hard, and he looks like a butler.
He's really hard, and it's really satisfying when you play and kill him, because it's actually like down to skill and stuff.
Exactly. It's really good. All right, then, screw this game. So, don't maybe get it, but you can if you want to.
Yep.
Moving on. Actually, no. Actually, I'm not going to do this one. I've spoiled it slightly by showing you that. But what we're going to do instead is this. Because, for me, not enough music in that music app. Didn't feel like that anything to do with it. So let's try something slightly different. Oh, I've got the wrong bloody image up. Oh, it's all going well today. Anyway, PolyFauna, which is an app, an interactive app. It's kind of a game, but kind of not. Released by a band whom I'm extremely fond of, which is Radiohead, which is one of my favourite bands of all of times.
I don't get Radiohead, but let's find out more about this video game.
I've always loved Radiohead. It's a thing that really properly got me into music and made me realise that like doing a band with your friends and writing songs was more than that just kind of like ooh I love you, you're really good, you are stuff.
Yeah.
And they could have content. So they're a huge big deal for me. This is PolyFauna, so it's an experimental music app which is based around, as you can see, kind of movement. I'm using I'll hold up my iPad so you can see. I'm
Go on then.
Tracking it around here, getting lots of clever weird effects going on. And as I'm doing so, you can see the environment moves a little bit as well. So I can move up and down with my thumb. And if you notice, I am actually, albeit very slowly, creeping forward. If I just hold still for a moment, you can see I'm gradually edging forward through this environment. And the idea is if I look right and I look left, and you'll see things start flying towards you. Look, there you go. It's kind of like an augmented reality app. So as these things fly, you kind of want to aim at them, this portal here.
Right.
Oh, it's drifting off to the side. Keep dragging it. You bastard. It's kind of peculiar samples and sounds playing in the background. Here we go. Boom. I hit the warp. My screen fills with cloud and smoke. And then, fade to black. I am transported to a... Ooh, that's actually really pretty.
Where are you now?
I'm in a new place.
Oh.
A new place with... Ooh. Bloody hell. That's really nice, actually. The effects on this are gorgeous. There are these kind of polygonal line drawings. You can all see it, obviously, in the stream. Yeah. And as I move, it's like there are kind of smoke wisp effects that are coming off the side of it. And it looks gorgeous.
It does look a bit good, doesn't it?
Really beautiful. I understand that the music is perhaps a little bit kind of quiet on the stream, but it's got beats playing, and a lot of them actually appeared, if you've played this game at all, and then you downloaded Tom York's solo album, Tom York being the lead singer from Radiohead and primary songwriter. He released a solo album recently, his second solo album, and he did it via BitTorrent. So he released the album as a £6 purchase, which you could then pay the money to, and it would give you the torrent. And then you used BitTorrent or whatever torrent program software you have to download it. So it was a way of bypassing record companies and not having to use EMI or not having to use Spotify or anything like that, because he's not a big fan of Spotify. because of the amount of money that you don't get every time that someone plays it. Spotify is very good if you're an old artist. So if you're a Pink Floyd or a Beatles or something, and you have a huge back catalogue that you want to monetize, it's very good. If you're a new artist and you have just released one album and you want to make some money, Spotify is very bad because you don't get barely anything per play money-wise, which is very, very good for us, me and you, the end user, and not very good for the bands. So he kind of took against it. So yeah, he released it via BitTorrent, which is a very unusual way of doing things. And before, Radiohead released an album that was free to kind of pay what you want at point of purchase. That's what they did with him in Rainbows. And it was another way to try out, a different way to avoid this kind of crap that you deal with record companies.
Do you think that, and I know this isn't a popular opinion, but do you think that maybe Radiohead are...
Shit, missed it.
Maybe... Do you think that maybe there's a bit of a cult around Radiohead? Like, I know that people who like them, like, people who say, oh yeah, Radiohead are alright. Like, I've had conversations with them and they're perfectly lovely. But there are some people who like Radiohead who go way too far. Who are like super into finding like all of the vinyls and like rare CD releases and like think that Tom York can do no bad and like...
I think, oh my god, look at this. This is actually really sweet. Sorry, I've been slightly caught up in this because I played this a bit and every time you go to a different environment it's kind of different, and even these, I've never seen any of these environments before. It's very unusual.
It's all very nice, isn't it?
It's like, I know what you're saying about people. The problem is anything that is properly beloved, any band, any film, any property is properly beloved, inspires superfans. And superfans, as a rule, whatever they're superfanning about, can be a bit much. So I understand that, like, yes, maybe you've encountered some Radiohead fans who like will get very angry about you dissing a song or something. But it's because there's something...
They love it.
Yeah, it's because there's something to like. And there's really, and more so than most bands, there is content behind the hype.
I don't know if there's anything in my life that I would fight someone over for, like, that is like a medium that... Well, the medium itself, I suppose, but, like, I don't know if there's any one thing within a medium that I would, like, angrily shout at somebody on the internet for. Do you know what I mean?
I know. I think we're all a bit past it now, but it does seem strange to go out of your way to get cross with people about...
Get cross? You don't like this thing!
It's like, well, no. Fine. It's the same. It's the thing with Coldplay. It's like, I find Coldplay bland, sure, I find it kind of dull, but I think if you're about to call someone who likes Coldplay boring, or if you're about to call Coldplay boring, that comment is already twice as boring as Coldplay is.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly,
it's that sort of feeling that we know, and
it's like, mate, do something better with your time. like.
So I'm not saying Coldplay are good because obviously they're not, but like
I like that song where he said that he was going to fix someone. I think it was Gwyneth Paltrow.
How'd that work out? Well, for him, granted, because he's now with the Hunger Games girl. But not so good. Not so good for Gwynny.
Not Gwynny. Bless her.
That's a little hard. But she sounds like a nightmare. That's that's pretty, like, we've sort of scraped some new lows there. We're down at, like, it was Perez Hilton level journalism then. But she does sound like a nightmare. Come on. Come on. I would have been out of that house in 5 seconds and all over there with, like, hello, Hunger Games girl, you look like a bit of fun.
You're fun. You've led a revolution in a film.
Exactly. Sure, that's good. So anyway, games and that. What, like this I'm actually having a surprisingly good time with, which is essentially wombling around, doing nothing much in particular in this sort of weirdo 3D environment, and it's just sounds, and you're heading towards these portals. It's not a game, it's kind of an interactive experience. And you put your headphones on, and you wander around in virtual reality, and you kind of, move the app and do it. But I'd argue it's a better use of the music, it's a better use of the band than that previous game we were in.
It better marries the aesthetic of the artist to the actual experience of the game. That is... I could quite easily lie down on a sofa and listen to Radiohead and imagine these soundscapes, because they're quite good at doing that sort of thing.
And it suits it. And weirdly, these effects are good. Like, the movement you get, this is kind of like this smoke wisp that occurs, this kind of like afterglow when you're moving, a motion blur almost. It's really good. It's really nice. Much better than I actually thought it was. I can't, unfortunately, turn 360. As you can see, I'm trying to move my way around whilst Not. Oh, there you go. Because I'm trying to find the white glowing portals, and these portals are the things that take you to the new place. So you're supposed to track them, but I kind of can't. I have to go backwards, and I've unplugged in to the computer, so it makes it a little bit awkward.
Don't do that.
But yeah, I actually think this is quite cool. It might be sad of me, but I think this is kind of wicked.
Go give us a go later.
So you should probably do so because, for a start, it's free.
Oh, I like that.
Free's good. And it just like contains elements like the raw strands of parts of the music from Radiohead and from King of Limbs sessions and from his new album. Tomorrow's Modern Boxers, the album's called. And as you go and look at different things, it triggers different sound elements from the songs. And as you move to different areas, you use different bits of the sample. So it is genuinely a bit of like a soundscape to combine with a landscape, which is, I guess, kind of what you want. And it was no one made a big deal about it. It's just like, here's a little thing for people.
Here's a nice, cool thing for free.
And it's free. So I
fill your flipping boots.
Exactly. So, and I think that's quite nice. So if you wanted to give it a go, it's called PolyFauna. And it's all filled with Radioheady music, and it's free to download. And as you can see, it's just a bit of a stroll around a weird place. But you know what? That's kind of cool. And I'm sort of... Oh, here we go. I'm sort of down with it. Can I get this final portal before I go? Go on.
Go on.
Go on, you bastard. You're not getting away from me this time? Or are you getting away from me this time?
Shell will walk out of it.
Don't you dare.
Brilliant.
Yes, thanks. I wanted to see a new environment before I left. Hooray. Yeah, I really like the smoke effect. It's surprisingly slick. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Someone's James Lee is thrown into the chat room saying a good article. AppSpy, I believe Danny's linked him to something, and he was asking questions about new games that are coming out this year or good ports that are appearing from the consoles and stuff. And yes, we've got lots of articles that Peter's put up on AppSpy about just that sort of thing.
All sorts of business.
So go and find it. Go and have a look. And now in a new environment where there is weird kind of like digital trees or something. These kind of strange tree roots which are growing out of the ground. Actually, they look a little bit like people. Ooh. A little bit like the sort of discarded upper or lower bodies of people.
It's all gone a bit Silent Hill.
It has. This is, again, why I quite like it. Yeah.
Bit creepy.
It does look different, James Rooney says. And yes, it does. And there's no harm in downloading it. It's free and it's kind of cool. I'm down with this. Better than the other one. Right, okay, so PolyFauna, free to download, available on iPhone and iPad right now. Go and give it a look if you fancy a bit of Radiohead action.
Ooh.
Alright, now I was going to play Savant Ascent, which is a game, a kind of shooter thing, which is based around this particular guy who is a digital music programmer, and that happens. Whenever I try and load the app, and I've turned the iPad off, and I've rebooted it, and I've closed all the other apps in the window, and then tried it again, nothing. So I'm afraid that's off the menu, which is a bit of a shame.
Sorry, Savant Ascent.
But you know what ad does work? Linkin Park Recharge Wastelands.
Ah, amazing.
That works. So we're going to play a Linkin Park game now, which is going to be fun for me. And I say fun, and obviously when I say fun, I mean torture. Because Linkin Park can kind of do one.
I like Linkin Park.
No, you don't, Peter.
Yeah, I do. I love Hybrid Theory. What a great album.
You absolute 11-year-old homework shirking.
James Gilmore. Hybrid Theory was a good album.
No, it wasn't, Peter.
It was a good album.
There is no. On this we all have to disagree because the little squeaky vocalist. He's reading something out. He's telling me a story about stuff about robots. Shut up. Bloody terrible. Hang on, I'm turning my own volume up here so I can hear what this guy's prattling on about. There's a little. The gap between my kind and their kind. You nasal prick. sorry, my better judgment escaping me there. Someone, James Rooney saying never heard of them. Correct answer, James Rooney. Yeah, I never heard of them. And then Danny's chiming in saying Hybrid Theory is ace. Danny!
Hybrid Theory is ace.
Everybody, grow up.
Reanimation can do one, but Hybrid Theory is a quality new metal album.
No, it's now you see. What you've just said there is by definition an oxymoron, because the emphasis on moron. Because new metal, right? So the new metal, you're allowed to like.
Yep. Go on.
You're allowed to like First Corn album and Freak on a Leash. The one Follow the Leader.
Okay.
You're allowed to like those two, right?
What about one of my favourite albums, Spineshank's The Height of Callousness?
So you're allowed to like Korn, those first two albums.
Oh, okay.
And you're allowed to like the Deftones.
And what about Slipknot's second and third albums?
So the Korn album and the
Right.
Deftones, and that's sort of about it with new metal. Linkin Park, piss off. Limp Bizkit, grow up.
Limp Bizkit can do one.
Oh really? Oh, do you draw the line at Fred
Yeah, I draw the
Durst?
line
Is
at
that where you
Limp
draw the line? All right,
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, so no, new metal's just a bit like, it's so unbelievably like 12-year-olds like whining that they don't want to do my homework and going, in the end it doesn't even matter, it keeps you fair. It's like it's the stuff they use in Transformers movies.
Yeah.
That is the stuff we're talking about here. That is the level of quality.
Now,
That's the bar.
If there's any slightly younger viewers, imagine in like the very late 90s, early noughties, lots of very middle class white kids walking around with black nail varnish on, long trench coats, and sort of like, you know, jamming away to whatever it is they're listening to. They've got blue-black hair, and it's basically the early noughties version of dubstep.
The thing about upper middle class,
like
middle class kids, white boys wandering around trying to be rebellious, like in the safest way possible. It's just embarrassing. I
love it.
Really shite.
I absolutely love it. And I like dubstep too. So
welcome to 5 years ago. Yeah, actually, my brother-in-law asked me, like, do you know any good dubstep tracks? I'm like, I did 5 years ago when dubstep was all right. Now I don't. It's all shite.
You are a musical snob.
I know.
Or you have taste. I can't figure out which one it is yet.
No, a little bit. I'll grant you, I am a little bit. I do music, don't I? So you end up getting all opinionated about it. No, I try not to be a complete Nazi about it all, but gotta have some standards, man. Come on. So let's talk about the actual game, because Touchlink has come in saying he just came by to say hello. Hello, Touchlinker. Good to see you.
Hello. We were arguing about dubstep and new metal.
Not playing the game like we should do. This is an energy node. Press hold and hold down to drain it. Ooh, after drain it, things will slide into place. So as you can see, we're dealing with another isometric sort of wander about shooter thing.
Okay.
Which is odd. This is elemental, so I've got these little icons at the bottom of the screen, which seem to control like a fire and a lightning or an ice thing going on. We've got a wind one over here. Let's flow a tornado at this weird dog thing. And then at the end, we've got Earth. So it's all gone a bit Captain Planet. Oh crap, run away! I'm also tapping areas of the screen to get my character to move. This shield repels drain. What the hell does that sentence even mean? The fireworks, very nice. Oh, I like that, excellent. So yeah, I'm navigating this little maze-like arena. I'm just tapping on the screen where I want to go. You can push and hold, can you? Yeah, you can push and hold to move, but it's not advised because the pathfinding's a bit weird. And if I swipe forward or in a direction, my female avatar will swoosh off like that. So I'm going to take out these things from a distance. Again, quite what this has to do with Linkin Park, I don't know. Like, there's no music, there's no like skinny white prick whining on about like how things don't matter anymore, even though he's like really, really wealthy.
But is this like post-apocalyptic?
Well, kind of, yeah.
Well, then things don't matter anymore, do they? Because it's post-apocalyptic.
Are you saying that he was foreshadowing that the guy was giving us a prophecy of things to come?
I'm not suggesting that Linkin Park is made up of people who are basically Nostradamus, but I am basically suggesting that.
Oh. Do I have to take it seriously then? Oh, no, this is a node. Why am I shooting this? So if I go up to this and I press and hold, yeah, I suck power out of the node. That's good.
Cool.
And she does a weird, like, whee at the screen, and she's happy now. Alright, that was done. Tutorial base camp. Now I'm going into Sector 1. We thought the wastelands were blah blah blah, shut your face. First contact, Sector 1, the Wastelands. Do I know? You've played this, haven't you? You played this as a hands-on a while back. Did you?
Linkin Park Recharge?
Yeah.
Nah.
Didn't you? I thought you did.
Nah.
You mean we didn't cover this gem on AppSpy?
No, apparently no. Sadly, this passed us by, unfortunately.
Well,
but that's okay because it doesn't even
matter. Walked into that, didn't I? Right. So I will say that at least it does look better than the other one. This has had slightly more time devoted to it than the Avenged Sevenfold game. I'll give it that much.
Yes, it looks like it has a concept. It looks like it has had time been put into it.
Yeah.
And money.
Yeah, not a great deal of either. But more certainly than Avenged Sevenfold.
Some.
But I'm still going to state that I've got the music up. I've got the volume up over here. There is no music in this at the moment. Where's Linkin Park? Are they going to appear as special characters that you play?
Oh my god, I hope so.
Yeah, because what's the guy's name? Is it Brandon? What's the lead guy's name?
Terry T-Towel is his name.
Terry T-Towel.
Yeah, Terry T-Towel, lead singer of Linkin Park.
Are you lying now to make fun of me because I don't know or like Linkin Park?
Maybe.
Wellington! What's his name?
Why do you think...
Is it called Brennan? It's called something really lame. He's called...
Alright, hold on. I'm going to go to Wikipedia and find out.
Chat room will know.
Chat room will know.
Like alcohol, is that you like it or you are similar to alcohol? Answers on a postcard. Says, what device are we using? I'm using an iPad 4 to be precise. To play this. It's the same thing that I always use for these Twitch streams that we do. When I record videos on AppSpy, and you'll see them up, lots of them go to AppSpy's YouTube channel, links below the video. I record a lot of stuff either on an iPod 5th gen, the most recent iPod, or I use my iPad 4 if it's a little bit more hardware intensive, because some of the games require a bit more oomph.
Now, I've done some incredible research already. Now, first of all, did you know that they've had way more albums than you actually totally think that they have had?
No, that doesn't surprise me in the slightest, because...
Hybrid Theory, Reanimation, which was the sort of remix album, Meteora, Minutes to Midnight, 1,000 Suns, Living Things and Recharged, and The Hunting Party. So the people who are in the band, the past members include Mark Wakefield. I don't know I think I knew him at school. The current members include Chester Bennington.
Chester, that's it. The guy's name's Chester. That's what the lead guy is called. He's called Chester.
Hello.
That's so rock.
I'm going to just...
that tells you exactly what you need to know. It's
down with the system.
Yes, middle-class white boys called Chester.
I'll tell you who is good, though.
Trying to act hard.
I'll tell you who is totally actually brilliant. Mike Shinoda, who is the DJ producer, he's actually very, very talented.
No, he's not.
Yes, he's very talented.
No, he's really not, though.
He
goes,
produced albums,
wiki bar, and that's it.
He produced tracks and albums for Lupe Fiasco and The Executioners, who you might remember were that sort of hip hop metal band that did that "It's Going Down" song.
Exactly. Thank you for backing up both my points.
Brilliant stuff. It was an absolute it was a treasure trove of quality music back in the noughties.
No, it was awful. Like Alcohol says, the name comes from a song, and therefore it's not an alcoholic. That's good to know. Not a problem.
Off you.
And you are welcome. And James Lee says, yes, it's funny when the middle class kids try and come across as poor, hard done by with their 800-pound guitars. I do know what you mean. One of the reasons I couldn't... I mean, I did a lot of Radiohead stuff, and that was in, when I was playing, and we obviously did our own songs, but I would... When you start off as a band, you start off generally, and the first thing you do to learn to play together is a cover. You cover stuff. That's what I did. And so I would cover a lot of Pink Floyd and Radiohead, because that's the stuff I liked. And the Radiohead was a great way, because certainly things like OK Computer was coming at the time when it was all about technophobia. It was this fear of the oncoming digitalization and the lack of privacy and everything that was coming. It was 1997 and all that stuff was just starting to kick in. And it wasn't kind of like that shouty, screamy... that's why I always had difficulty with metal and new metal and those things, because it's taking the obvious route. I like horror films, for example. Horror films and horror games, I will always prefer Silent Hill to Resident Evil. Right. Silent Hill is the Radiohead to Resident Evil's death metal. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because there's this sort of you can, if you're upset about something, you can either go you can do that, right? Which is, I would argue, taking the easy and somewhat obvious route. Or you could be really, really, really quiet and understated about it, and then when you're least expecting it, you freak the fuck out of everybody.
Here's the thing.
That's the way to do it.
So one of my favourite bands from that era, right? And I think this will test your musical whether or not we can be friends still.
All right.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yes. No. Rage Against the Machine were great. Because.
But what's the difference?
What do you mean? What's the difference? Well,
what's the difference
between whom and whom?
Rage Against the Machine and Linkin Park and Radiohead.
Because Zach De La Rocha wasn't a rich white kid. He was a sort of lower class minority kid. So no, he was not rich, privileged, middle class. And they were actually vaguely real. Like, and he's not shouting all the time. I'm not against a bit of shouting. A bit of shouting is fine, but there has to be some content behind the shouting. And they had genuine lyrical content, and it was a very smart 3-piece. And they, at least at the beginning, had an ideology, which was that whole thing of no synthesizers and no stuff. And the first album is literally just the 4 of them, like very little overdubbing and stuff. It was quite raw and it was quite real, and it could be reproduced really well live. And it was good. It had context to it. Someone's saying, James, I get that song on iTunes. Which song? Oh, the one where I'm shouting at my face. Probably.
Yeah. We'll make you a sort of ringtone. That'll be fine.
That'll be the tune.
Here's something that I have got to say. I need to settle the air because it feels like there's tension. Hello, if you are joining us at the moment, we're gonna probably pop off in about 5-10 minutes. But if you are on the front page, then hello, come on through, hit that follow button, and because basically we're Apps and Pocket Gamer, and what we talk about is mobile games and tablet games, and you've got a mobile and or a tablet, so why don't you play some damn good games on it?
Yeah.
Huh?
Games that aren't this. Well, and though in fairness, because we've been playing games that are made by bands, that was today's theme.
These ones have been very good.
We do these Genre Busters game series where we play games that are all part of a different genre, so shooters and fighters and whatever. This one is prompted by an Avenged Sevenfold game that came out a couple of weeks back. And we thought, I wonder if there are other games made by bands on the App Store. You know what? There are. And you know what else? A lot of them aren't very good.
Yeah, they're all a bit bobbins.
That is what we've discovered today. This is the Linkin Park Wasteland game, which in fairness is kind of a good league above the Avenged Sevenfold game. But still, I'm just really tapping around the screen. I'm going around. It's just kind of a top-down shooter with, I suppose, it's trying to have an RPG element to it because you can upgrade stuff. It's all very light. I'm just really spamming.
Have you met Chester Beginsfield yet?
No, I can't hear. Like, there's no Linkin Park music in this. Like, where's the music? Where is the come to fair? All that. Like, where's that? I'm doing all the Linkin Park music myself, which is rubbish. So I'm slightly unimpressed. And weirdly, of the games that we played, PolyFauna, which technically isn't really a game, it's like an interactive app which kind of plays tracks, layers from Radiohead songs in it, is the most interesting and the most musical app we've actually seen so far.
So I have a question for you, and I'll ask you, but I want the chat room, which I'm keeping an eye on, and obviously so is our lovely community manager Danny. I'm going to ask you a question, James. I want to hear the answers from the chat as well.
Okay.
If there was one band that was going to make a video game, what band would you want it to be? So chat, let us know. And we'll read out some of the best answers. And James,
one good one. I would quite like Metronomy to make one.
Who?
Because, well, there you go. That says it all, doesn't it? Because they, from one of the first albums they did, which was called Pay Me the 5,000 You Owe Me. I think that's what it was called.
Okay.
It's very kind of like synthy and glitchy, and it feels very lo-fi, and it feels like it was done on like a ZX Spectrum. And for that reason, I think it's quite suited to a video game. You know what I mean? The music and the tone of it would sort of suit it down to the ground. The obvious answer is you make a game where you get to blow up Justin Bieber. But I think there are a million of those games already in the world, so we've got that covered. So something like that. So like Alcohol's asking for the busted Year 3000 game. No.
That would be amazing.
Oh God, here we go. No, throw it to the chat room just before we go. What game would you like to see made by a band? If you had a band and they were going to make an iOS game, who should do it?
So, I think for me, I would say probably the band that I would want to would probably be like a Stevie Wonder game.
Now, I'm going to be very careful what I say. It was not just going to be a black screen.
Well.
I'm just going to leave that there.
Yeah, just leave that hanging really badly. Who else? James Rooney says busted as well. The Touch Thinker says AC/DC would make a great game about smashing stuff down.
That's true. That would probably
be amazing. Boston Symphony Orchestra from JJE.
Not familiar with their work.
No idea. Darker Reese says Iron Maiden or Iron Maiden or Judas Priest.
That would work. The big like over the top like rock bands that would actually work. Like for example, Kiss. Like there should be a Kiss video game. I think there probably is one.
There have been two Kiss video games. There's Kiss Psycho Pinball.
Okay.
And Kiss. I want to say something like Psycho Circus, which is It's like a first-person shooter in the Quake 2 engine with KISS members.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Awesome. That would obviously work really well. Like Iron Maiden is a good one because those visuals would suit it sort of down to the ground. The ridiculous heavy metal visuals. That would work.
Sidejo says The Prodigy. Now, for me, the Prodigy game's already been made, and it's called Wipeout.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, that had a lot of drum and bass stuff in it, and a bit of Prodigy in it as well, didn't it?
It's true though. Like, I definitely think that would be a really good one.
No, yeah. No, I'm inclined to agree.
Now, so usually we don't allow direct links and stuff, but Chowder Cartoon Network has said Enrique Iglesias and linked to a YouTube video of Enrique Iglesias and 3 very excited men singing at one another.
Really?
I will definitely watch that later.
I didn't know. Does he not have a game, or they were hoping that he gets
Enrique
one soon?
Iglesias the game. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, Iglesias harder. No.
So some good suggestions, I think.
Yes, well done everybody. Red Hot Chili Peppers. Yeah, that's true. Like the video for Californication kind of is a video game. You remember that video?
Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, the roller coaster song as well. That works.
That'd be a good one. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything good because all the stuff I like is a little bit, you know, I suppose avant-garde. I guess not really. I have a very diverse music taste, which I think is the right way to do it. You shouldn't. I don't even really. There are only a few genres I have trouble with. It's like kind of the food things. Like if it's nice, I like it. You know what I mean? I'm not like I'm not going to have Indian or any particular kind. It's like, well, you know, it's all good really. The only things I have trouble with is like I'm not particularly big fan of sushi. That's the only thing because of the cold fish. Love fish, but just the cold stuff.
Have you had sushi with raw beef?
No, I haven't.
Oh, all right. We'll have to go to the Sushi next time.
I'd be up for trying it. Like always up for trying. And the same thing with music. Like I really thought I hated country and western, and I do. You know, I have a bit of trouble with country. But
I'm a big Hank Williams fan.
Oh really? But country rock I can deal with. So like Fleetwood Mac I grew up with, and I'm a big fan of them. And there's this harp artist called Joanna Newsom, who plays very unusual songs that are like about 10 or 15 minutes long, a lot of them, and she sings in this peculiar voice that sounds like a petulant 5-year-old girl. But it's A, utterly brilliant, and B, it's kind of country and western inflected, even though she's playing it on a harp. And I adore it. It's one of them. Ease, which is her second album, is one of my favourite albums for the past 15 years. And really, if you look at it and look at the chord structures and stuff, it's quite country. And so you go, actually, I do. There are obviously elements of this I must like. So if it's
Dolly Parton video game.
Oh really? Yeah, that would be good. That would be mental.
Would be good.
Because she's basically a cartoon character anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
That would work.
Oh, and she's brilliant. All right, okay, we'll do that.
Yeah,
but I'm gonna write to Dolly Parton right now and get her to make a video game.
And I'm going to assume Metallica's had a million. Like apart from the obvious Rock Band games that they had, like I'm going to assume a bunch already.
I think they've only had one actually. They've been in lots of bands, been in lots of games as soundtracks, but I don't think they've actually had a video game yet.
And to be honest, I don't think people usually it's good if there's a good game and then a big artist happens to lend their soundtrack to it, happens to lend them a few songs. That's great. When bands decide to go, I'm going to make my own game, or I'm going to be like creative involvement in the game, you start to realise that hey, you're really good musicians. Maybe you should do the music and
you're good at like stick to your day job, which is being a rock band. Hold on, I'm annoyed now.
Yeah, go on.
Stick to your day job, which is being in an awesome rock band. Like, don't try and be a games developer as well.
You think it's just greedy? Is that what you're saying?
Greedy. You don't. Oh, yeah, they want the glamorous lifestyle of the rock star and the glamorous lifestyle of the video game.
This one, well, they're rock stars. Of course they do. They've got the appetite for everything. They've got to live on the edge, and they don't play by anybody's rules. That's what Linkin Park do. They don't play by anyone's rules, except when they have to go home at 9:30 for their tea, because otherwise their mum gets a bit cross. And they do have that maths homework to do, so you know.
Oh, I do like Linkin.
But apart from that, rock, am I right? Rebellion, yeah? Yeah, guys, yeah?
I'm going to go listen to Hybrid Theory now.
You do that. I'm going to go and not listen to Hybrid Theory right now. It's going to be great. You guys all, thank you for joining us, and come back and join us again tomorrow when we're going to do another stream. We're going to focus on a particularly interesting new game that is about to come out. We've got some exclusive early access stuff, and we might have some stuff to give away relating to it. So do come back and join us, same time tomorrow, 5 p.m. if you're in the UK, 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 midday Eastern Standard Time, and other hours around the world as well. I was James, that was Peter, this was Outspy, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.